vehicle was vandalized by El-Kanemi Warriors fans, according to reports, following a 1-1 draw in their Nigerian Premier Football League match, the 34 clash on Sunday in Maiduguri. Now, this marks the second consecutive away fixture where the club's transport has been attacked after a draw following a similar incident in Ibadan against Shooting Stars. Now, heavy police presence was required to escort Ikorodu City players and officials out of the stadium after the game, and the repeat occurrence raises concerns over fan violence, club safety during NPFL away games. Despite detentions, Ikorodu City, of course, secured a hard-fought win. And further details on the incidents would expect, of course, we also expect a statement from the board of the Nigerian Premier Football League. But joining us, with, of course, Andrew Randa, who is already on, is a journalist, of course, one who is a lover of the Nigerian Premier Football League. Robert Olimene joins us this afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Robert. Thank you very much for joining.
Good afternoon to you. It's good to be on the program once again, and of course, happy Easter to you as well.
Happy Easter to you. Let me start with Andrew Randa. I mean, you have followed the league for over, close to, if not 2 decades now, or over 2 decades, and you've seen this happen. If not, there's no season that goes on that we don't have at least one report of crowd trouble or teams being sanctioned. And it seems that we keep talking about this and there are no lasting solutions. Is there a way we can say, we go a season and then we can say when teams do this, in fact, the teams will be scared of having, perpetrating things like this, or their fans will be scared of, coming out to openly, condone this kind of ill-mannered acts whenever they get to draw points at home. What do you think can be done, or what do you think? How can we stop this menace in football in Nigeria?
Like I said, I've followed the league for almost 30, 35 years now. There's been this kind of incidents every single season. And personally, I think that something drastic has to be done. For example, 3 points, 3 goals were deducted from teams. I think that has to happen. And then in the framework of the NPFL, they need to find a place to say, listen, if these things happen in your stadiums for 2 consecutive times or 2 times within a season, you will be sent out of the NPFL, even if it means only 5 teams playing, because we can't continue like this. Every match day, my prayers is that journalists, fans, players, officials go to stadiums, play the games, enjoy themselves, and go back home safely. Unfortunately, in most cases, especially with most of the teams down north, you get to see some of these problems. It has happened to Ikorodu City. It happens in every single stadium in Nigeria. And it's very unfortunate. Sometimes when you go to stadiums and you hear what some fans say, and even when some team officials, the way they behave, you keep asking yourself, why are these people not professional enough? Our fans need a bit of sensitization. The administrators themselves need to be up and doing. The FAs that are in charge of security also have to be up and doing. We know that football is an emotional sport, but people need to find a way to be able to check their emotions such that it doesn't degenerate into incidents where people's lives and properties of clubs, for this sample, Ikorodu City, is at harm. It's very, very unfortunate. So me, I think drastic actions need to be taken. The framework need to be pieced again, and issues related to fan violence be infused. For example, I gave a very good example. If act of violence is gotten against your team when they sit down and do all the arithmetic, the first thing we're going to do is to take 3 points and 3 goals out of your club. If it happens again, we will take 3 points and 3 goals out of your club and then banish you to a neutral venue. If that happens again, for the 3rd time, your team will be banished from the NPFL for 5 years. This has to be done. The United Kingdom, through the Queen that time, were able to curb fan hooliganism in very drastic ways. And, you can hear pockets of it here and there, but it has all been eliminated to the barest minimum. So for me, if I was the chairman, these are the drastic efforts or drastic means I'm going to take to be able to curb this fan violence. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be pretty, but it's what I'm going to do.
All right, Robert, Andrew Randa has given his thoughts about this and what he thinks can be done to curb these issues we have in the league. We know for sure that club sides will tell you they've sensitized their fans, but we also know that the fans that perpetrate evils are known to these clubs. What do you think can be done in your own perspective, or that will bring it to a minimal? I'm not saying that we might not get to see the heads come up again, but at least we know that when you go into a stadium and pick maximum points, you are at least sure that you get home safe without anything happening to you.
Well, echo the thoughts of Andrew Randa as regards to this particular topic. My prayer, my thoughts are that one day, I hope that the life of somebody does not make us wake up from this particular slumber, because it is really, really getting out of hand. I would say that this league season has been one of the most exciting league seasons in recent times. And of course, everybody across board has really has one fond memory to say about this league. And of course, right now, I think Ikorodu City, aside the fact that the lights are shining on Rebel Stars, who are gradually working towards the title, I think the headlines week in, week out has been with Ikorodu City, who have played absolutely wonderful football. And of course, looking at the main resources that the club have, they've been able to get very, very impressive results, both at home and of course away. Coming to the issue of found violence, I would sit 100% behind Andrew Randa on this particular one. And of course, at this point in time, I believe that our league really needs to strengthen its position, and of course, let teams across the NPFL know that there will be no place for unruly behavior. There will be no place for more or less giving people the slap on the wrist when it comes to discipline. Football is emotional, but just like Andrew Randa said, I think where the trouble starts is with some club officials who are on court with what they say, what they do, and of course this finds a way to trickle or definitely be caught by fans who will see this as green lights for them to misbehave in stadiums. And as it is at this point in time, I think a drastic step has to be taken, or drastic steps has to be taken in such a way that next season we don't get to see this. I hope that tragedy does not strike before we actually begin to put our house in order and of course take what we are building or what we have built so far seriously. Because at this point in time, you begin to ask yourself, I really don't think it's a crime for a team to come to a stadium, play good football, work so hard on the field of play, and of course go back home with at least a point or 3 points that they deserve on the day. And these are the things that fans as well as club officials have to understand. But it is quite unfortunate that in a climate like Nigeria, everybody's always looking for somewhere to dump the blame. If it is not the club officials, it is more or less the media who are just trying to, more or less rubbish the efforts of the home team in this case, or they are looking at other avenues in which they are just trying to put the blame. So as it is, the NPFL really needs to stand strong and of course build on the very, very good works that has been done so far this season.
All right, I want to say a big thank you to you, Robert Olimene. I mean, the time is not our friend at the moment. Andrew Randa, I mean, thank you very much for joining despite your busy schedule. I would say thank you very much, and we hope that, the league body can listen to this and come around and look at the statutes and try to, retweak and rejig it to fit into, all this. Because at the end of the day, they go back to the books before punishments are being given. And most of the clubs already know that it's about fines and maybe suspension, ban to a particular venues. And we hope that more street actions or street punishments will come up in the future. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming on the show.